Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Show. I'm Mike Stansbury, and today we have Miss Joan Brothers from New York City. Joan, how are you?
Hello, Mike. What a nice introduction.
Yeah, I try to make it a little flair. And for those folks, Real Estate Pros is a podcast brought to you by Investor Fuel. We help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses to allow them to build their businesses they've always wanted and to allow them to have the lives they've always dreamed of. Joan Brothers from New York City. Tell me a little bit about the origin story. How did you get involved in real estate? How did that all happen? What's that look like?
Sure. Well, I actually thought I would be an expat living in Hong Kong when I left business school and be a corporate person. So had no idea about real estate and the benefits of real estate. I didn't come from a real estate family. I didn't know anything about real estate. But my first job was at Mitsui, the largest trading company in the world. And I noticed that a lot of our Japanese bosses, because it was a Japanese company, owned real estate. It was a large part of, when you move around, you're in real estate. And I said, this seems pretty interesting. So I ended up getting into it by being in the corporate world that I thought I was originally in. I exited because the corporate world was a little too restrictive. I enjoy the entrepreneuristic piece of real estate. And voila, I ended up in it. My first week in real estate, I thought, oh, it's really slow. I don't know how this business can go. And then, 25 plus years later, I'm like, oh yeah, there you go. So it's a very
The first week kind of fooled you.
fast-paced business. Yeah, really. True.
Now, have you always been located in New York City?
Correct. Yes. Always been in New York,
Yeah, so
but definitely look at different options in terms of referrals and helping clients worldwide, because our clients are worldwide. We like to say our clients are global, but our product is local.
Gotcha. I like that. And so, do you own the brokerage now? Tell me what the business looks like, where you are in the I guess I would say the org chart, and what your day to day is like, Joan.
Well, the beauty of real estate is your day to day changes every single day, so it keeps things interesting. You certainly can say you're never bored. The clientele probably changes in terms of where they're from, who they are, what market's selling, because that's again the beauty of real estate. You cannot predict what segment of the market will perform or what will be happening. So, I think you have to be able to roll with it, but you have to have a good foundation, and you have to have people that you really like and trust within your organization that you can rely on. And then you have to pivot a lot as a boutique firm. The beauty of being a boutique firm is you can pivot quickly. You're not a big organization, which I really like. But the day to day, it can change. And the clients, you'd like to say you could predict which clients are going to come at what time, but I don't think that's any business anymore.
right? They just come when they come, and bring them on. Okay. And so 25 years in New York City, what's been the biggest, has there been a shift or a change?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Or, when have you had to tell me about those pivot times? What did that look like? And how did you guys pivot to maybe make sure that the market was kind of that you went with the market instead of what people do is like, we can't do anything. The market stinks.
Right. One of the things I learned early on when I entered the business when I was early, in my 20s, and that was sort of unusual for a lot of people. So I've been in the business a long time because of that. So I learned from some of the veterans, and they said the most successful people that I knew said, you don't say, oh, I don't do that, because sometimes the market will be very high end. Sometimes it'll be entry level. Very rarely is it all things moving at the same time. Sometimes it'll be residential. Sometimes it'll be commercial. Within the commercial, is it multi, what is it? Is it commercial office space? Is it retail? Is it multifamily? They all change. So you have to be versed enough and have areas of specialty and know how to reach out to everybody. So the pivots, they happen in very obvious times like 9/11. That was a big pivot because we didn't have business for a while. And yet there was still people who knew, here's a bit of chaos. Let's take advantage. I have cash. The economic changing times where we had, 2008, 2009, where there were absolute shifts to things like that. So that was very helpful too. Just to know that you have to pivot. You have to be able to enjoy knowing that things will be quiet for a little while, and you have to lay your foundations more strongly so that you can be ready when things move again. Again, it
That's
got
great.
a little loud now. Are you okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
But the ability to pivot in those areas and be in a small boutique, and real estate obviously encompasses a lot of things. It's an umbrella. But if you're doing commercial multifamily, and if somebody asks you about that, and you just automatically say, I don't do that. Well, I think I love the fact that you say, well, hey, I'm supposed to be the expert in helping my clients. So I like the fact that you do say, hey, yeah, we can talk about that and figure those things out, because in the way that we're all connected now, if I don't know much about commercial real estate or the commercial real estate market, I know some people that do. And so I can always be that conduit.
Absolutely. And we have different experts within our firm. As a broker, you own the firm. And of course, you have agents have areas of specialty. So we have one person, for example, who's a real estate developer who certainly knows how to do the numbers in an incredible way that would satisfy investors, for multifamily, for development. And then we have people who are office space experts. And then we have people who are retail experts. On the residential space, we have people who are, in the condo sphere versus the co-op, which is more of a New York City New York City person, property kind of thing. So you have the resources within your firm. And if for some reason it's something so exotic, of course, we have the contacts to find out and help you a little bit more. Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So Joan, but I always like to get in the origin story. You teased us a little bit. You thought you were going to live in Hong Kong the rest of your life. What did that look like? And why aren't you in Hong Kong? Is that a place you want to end up at some point, or
No,
is that dream dead?
Well, I kind of got lucky in the sense that in the end, it was an idea. I really wanted to go to Asia. It was a very interesting time but Hong Kong changed over in 1997 and it became a little bit less interesting. And the time that I could have gone to China, it was too early for people who weren't really fluent in the language or really in the mix to go. So in the end, I married a man who ended up having business in China. So I spent quite a bit of time in Asia.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Cultivated a lot of clientele. About 50% of my clients were international and remain that. And that's my area of interest as sort of a global citizen. So I still got to live my dream just in a different way.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell us about that. Where in China how did you you cultivated those relationships, but where in China did you say, hey, if I'm going to China, these are the two cities, or this is the one place that I would definitely tell somebody you got to go check it out?
Well, Mike, I'm sure you feel the same way, but I think sometimes just things lead you. You have a friend in Beijing, you have a friend in Shanghai, or somebody says, "Hey, you got to get to Guangzhou and check this out." So that's what we did. Is I had connections, I had ideas. At certain points, we were developers, real estate developers within New York City, and we were selling products, which were, 150 units in a building in Harlem, which was great. And we took that to China at trade shows. So we did that in Beijing, we did that in Shanghai, made a lot of friends. Oddly enough, this is kind of fun, met the French contingency in Shanghai in 2008 and ended up knowing a lot of them, and they sort of connect worldwide and have met many of them back in New York. So who knows? You show up in China, you meet the French, they, you know, you
That's how it
just,
happens, right?
and another
Yeah.
piece of it, one of the contacts there recently, I needed to find a castle for somebody from Asia, but they wanted the castle in Paris. So again, I connected with the French contact, got the chateau broker there. So I mean, it's a big world, but it's a small world.
It's it's a big but small world. So that's it. That's very very interesting. And the New York market again. I'm in little Memphis over here. But
Oh,
what's
fabulous.
amazing is yeah, it's a fun town. But it's what's interesting though is as I'm getting the flavor for a New York City real estate brokerage and the just the depth of it because it is an international city. It's New York
Yes.
City, and you're going to China to sell New York
Yeah.
and then obviously vice versa. They're coming here, and you're getting more referrals and things like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in every city. Maybe in Charlotte, Miami, and L.A. And in some other ones. But
Yes.
wow, what a this is kind of I'm kind of learning something that you're just adding depth to
Oh,
and I think hey, real estate agents are the same everywhere. Well, actually, they're not. Because when you're in a city like New York, you've got this opportunity to travel to also
yes.
just
Yes.
that's because of your job. That doesn't happen in Memphis. I'll just tell you that just
Well,
doesn't
I
happen in
have to
Memphis.
tell you, I've been envious of Memphis. Recently with all of you've been very smart in attracting corporations and therefore people, and your residential real estate, and I believe your commercial real estate are doing incredibly well. So I think that's commendable. But I think New York City is different in the sense it's a world city because we have every nation, every language spoken here. People feel comfortable. It's a place for young professionals to come and start their career from all over the world because of the largest corporations around the world, and here they are developing professionally, falling in love, buying apartments, selling apartments, moving back to a home country or a completely different country, or to Memphis because it's a wonderful quality
Never
of
know.
life. So in a weird
Yeah.
way, we're like a placeholder for a lot of people. I'm a lifer. I'm never leaving here. But but I will tell you, I have seen a lot of people come and go. And as a placeholder, I think we serve our purpose for a lot of people.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is you could probably write a book. You got a lot of stories, right? Because you're
Mhm.
a fixture there. But you see, I don't like the word transient because it
Yeah.
maybe you think of something else. But do people come to New York? They stay a little bit.
Yes.
It's a stepping stone in their life, but it's always. I know a lot of people that have lived in New York for a bit of time, and they're
Yes.
always nostalgic about it.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Because it's just a different way of living, and you take somebody from the South that comes up there, their mind is blown about how you can in 2 blocks you have all the activity that
Yeah.
you
Yes.
have in 5 square miles of a city. So
I Yes, I
yeah,
grew up in Connecticut, so I'm a Connecticut girl. So I know what you're saying about not having much action in a several mile radius, and then in
right.
New York, like you said, that 2 blocks, you've got your sensories. You've seen so many people and animals and action, and you won't ever reproduce that again because everything is moving all the time. Yeah, it's a feast for the senses.
Yes, ma'am. Well, one of the things I always like to talk to about folks is like what kind of real estate investing happens in New York, as far as we understand, and maybe there's a little bit more depth here when somebody buys a house or a condo or just a building there for a residence.
Yep.
But there's people that are still buying in New York for investment and for that. What does that look like in New York today? How are you helping people? And you can go
Sure.
to a specific client that you may have helped in the last 6 months and kind of tell us about that transaction.
I think what might be in, I'd be happy to address that. And I think I'll give you two scenarios. How's that?
Sure.
One
Yeah.
from a residential, one from a commercial. Uh, the typical, or not typical, but the interesting part, almost worldwide, that you find, and we'll go back because this is sort of the breath of New York City, is that you have young professionals coming in and beginning their life. And beginning their life means they're moving up the corporate world or moving up in their career pattern, and also kind of having a life, um, you know, really enjoying, um, having a life and developing their life personally and professionally, whatever that means. So, what is interesting is a lot of world families and a lot of US families recognize, and if you can, there's a saying in New York, if you can, you do. So, a lot of these families help support their young professionals and they'll buy a property in New York, a 1 or 2 bedroom for their family member so that they can grow and develop to a point and then they'll sell that. So that's really an investment that
Yes. Yeah.
somebody might see in different lights. And you're really privileged if you can do that, but that happens quite a bit in New York. So I think that's a wonderful example of investment in New York that really works. You buy something and then you sell it for some appreciation, or it works as an asset from a rental standpoint. The other
Right. Yeah.
piece that I have to say I learned, and I never would have known this in the commercial world of New York, people will buy multifamily buildings, or you could be small multifamily or big multifamily, and these would obviously be wealthy families. They would buy them not to make money in their generation, not even to make money in their children's generation, but for their grandkids to make money off of the properties. This to me was like mind blowing that this kind of visionary investing existed, because they just wanted to hold the asset, let it perform. They had enough money to weather any storms and deal with things, but it was for the grandkids. I just thought, wow, that's visionary. That's really
Well,
intelligent, strategic thinking.
yes. Yeah. So many people are just such a lot of some not most people. I would say that the short term thinking about investments. Maybe we hold it for a little while and then we sell it in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
What I read a good book. It's called The Household and the War of the Cosmos. And it kind of described exactly what you were talking about. Is that people when they developed their families, they were not just thinking about their kids, but they were thinking about their grandkids. Every decision that they made was not just in the light of their, one descendant. It was thinking about, they were thinking down the line, which is a very interesting way to invest, or to even, I wouldn't even call investing, just thinking through those things. And that's a really neat way to look at it. Buying a building, hey, I'm buying this. I'm not going to get a return in my lifetime, but my grandkids are going to get a return. That's a great way of thinking.
It's a wonderful position to be in. Let's hope all of your listenership and us, we can benefit in that way in some time. But it is wonderful to see. It's enlightening to see. Yeah.
Okay. So now one thing, I'm just going to be very transparent here. My children have been to New York City. My son and my daughter have. I've never been to New York City. So where's the best place
we have to rectify that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At some point I will. I keep telling myself I got to go see a Yankee game because I've never done that. And, but where in New York do you like to, where is, kind of your hub?
There's practically no bad neighborhood. Every neighborhood has merit and constantly changing, which is kind of fun. Someplace that my great aunt lived or my father lived in, when they were young kids in Brooklyn, it was a great neighborhood, and then maybe it went down a little bit. It was a little bit unsafe, and now it's back and better than ever in Brooklyn, and all the young hipsters are
taking over
there, and these investors who are buying for their grandkids are buying there. So there's no bad area there. Of course, it's a big city, but each neighborhood has its own flavor, and really fun if you can go to some neighborhoods for some distinctive kinds of, cultural food. There's the flavor of Midtown West. There's the flavor of Soho. There's the flavor of, and I mean neighborhood at this point, not just food, but food is very important, obviously.
Obviously,
but
yes.
No, each neighborhood, there is no bad neighborhood, in my view.
Right. Well, I'll have to figure that out. It sounds so exciting to go over there. My son always tells me that every time he goes, it's like you can't not have for 2 weeks, you feel like you still haven't scratched the surface on seeing all of it. So definitely gonna have to.
That means you have to have
someday.
multiple returns. But your son might return to Memphis at some point. He might get it out of his system, but it'll always be with him. He'll always be this, hopefully touched by it in some very positive way.
That's right. Well, Miss Joan, how can people? Let's say that hey, I'm moving to New York and I want to reach Joan and her business. How do we get in touch with you? What does that look like?
Well, pretty easy. Not hard at all. My name is pretty simple. You can think of me as the Brothers, Joan Brothers. So you can find me that way, or Manhattan Boutique Real Estate. And the website's www.mbreny.com. And very much able to be listed and contacted. Certainly happy to speak with anyone. And let me just put it this way. If we cannot help you directly, you can certainly call us and we'll try and push it into the right spot and give you some advice or opinions at least.
Awesome. Well, Miss Joan, thank you for being on the podcast. Folks, thank you for watching the Real Estate Pros podcast. Miss Joan, we hope you have a great day. And when I get to New York, I'm going to look you up, okay?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to take you for a cup of coffee or a cocktail, either or.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
We're going to do it. My pleasure.
All right. See you now.
Bye. Thanks for the time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.